If you see these two NPCs in Pokemon, run away immediately. Now, just for the record, NPCs in Pokemon come in many shapes and sizes. You have rivals, parents, gym leaders, or even random trainers that can wipe out your entire team when you battle them. And sometimes these random trainers are so detailed and their backstory is so extensive that it makes the Pokemon games feel that much more alive and interactive. But just like real life, some NPCs have that creepy factor to them, and they will bring your Pokemon journey to a complete and bitter end and leave you wishing that you never talked to them. Our first example begins in Pallet Town, the small village where trainers start their journey in the Kanto region. After all, this is the most famous town in Pokemon and home of the now champion Ash Ketchum, so it only makes sense that the first game-breaking event occurs here. And the trainer in question is this seemingly innocent girl who wanders across Pallet Town in random movements. Now, if you attempt to talk with this girl, she gives you the standard response that all Pallet Town NPCs give you. But depending on where you stand next to her, she begins to maneuver in the opposite direction. Now, this by itself is an interesting mechanic, but it's not that surprising. After all, she probably thinks it's a bit creepy when you're just staring at her without talking to her. Anyway, if you continue doing this for long enough, you can chase her around Pallet Town until she gets stuck in a small patch of grass north of the town. One step at a time, you now make your way towards the girl, who now seems terrified of you, because you've been following her around literally all day. And as you now block her exit, she's forced to move into the grass, but she can't go any further because she has no Pokemon of her own, and you're blocking her only exit. And then, if you stand right next to her, an automatic cutscene occurs. Professor Oak rushes towards you and tells you that you can't go into the forest without Pokemon, and then brings you back to the house. And this is where the girl gets her revenge. As you're forced to walk back to the house with Professor Oak, the girl pushes you off your trajectory by one square, so that when Oak walks you back to the house, you inadvertently end up stuck on the window of your house. In video game terms, this is called a pathing error, and this occurs because the girl's position interferes with the natural route of the cutscene. And this results in you being permanently trapped in limbo between your house and the outside world. And as you sit there stuck on the windowsill like a statue, unable to move, you think back to the innocent looking girl and think to yourself, I should have just run away. Now, in terms of explaining glitches in terms of game lore, many people have come up with interesting theories for this. One account on Reddit in particular posits the theory that what happened was Professor Oak saw you harassing the poor woman, then dragged you back to his house and slammed you into the wall. As for why you're stuck in the wall, the theory goes that Oak killed you when he slammed your head against the brick wall, and now your spirit is stuck in between the house and the outside world. Who knew Professor Oak was such a strong advocate for women's rights? Now, the second story starts off with you again in Pokemon Red and Blue, although this glitch might also work in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Let's say you took my advice and ran away from the woman in Pallet Town. From there, you progress normally until you hit a location called Nugget Bridge. Walking past Nugget Bridge, you find the infamous Route 25. Why is it so infamous, you ask? Because of this particular trainer located north of the route. This NPC is a junior trainer, and behind him lies TM43 in Pokemon Fire Red and TM19 in Pokemon Red. And clearly from this image, the only way to get the TM is to battle the trainer, as you don't have the HM cut which is required to get rid of the tree. And at first you find the situation quite enticing. All you have to do to get the TM is beat this scruffy looking trainer. But I assure you, your best chance is to run away immediately. But let's say you ignore my warning, and you walk forwards and you approach the trainer. When he engages you in battle, he takes 2 steps forward and says, I'm a cool guy, I've got a girlfriend. And although his words seem sorta strange, you just laugh it off and battle him. He sends out a level 14 Rattata and a level 15 Ekans, and you immediately burst into laughter, as your Pidgeotto makes quick and easy work of the situation. As he admits defeat, he's forced to pay you 280 Pokédollars, which you take happily. but that might be the most expensive mistake of your life. Because after the battle, the path opens up to the TM and you start walking towards it. Once again, my words echo in your mind. Don't go over there. But let's say you ignore me and you take the TM. Now you look at the clock and it's 8 PM, so you turn off your Game Boy and you head to dinner with your family, making sure to save the game here. Which is a deadly mistake, because once you reload the game, you find that both exits are blocked off. You can't leave the area by going through the tree because you don't have the HM cut, and the trainer respawned in his original location and he's now blocking the entrance of the area. Frantically, you look around to find a way out of this situation, but you realize you're completely and utterly stuck. If you approach the trainer, he gives you the same dialogue that everyone else does after a loss, and he's seemingly taunting you while blocking the exit so you can't escape. You plead and beg with him, speaking to him again and again and again, but it's to no avail because he stands in your way and holds you there in the forest against his will. But why is he doing this? Well, the developers didn't account for the fact that the player could save in this little nook of the map between the tree and the trainer. So they made the trainer respawn at his point once you reload the game, which basically means you're trapped forever. As you're sitting there stuck, you try to think of a solution desperately and two ideas come to your mind. Your first plan involves getting a Pokemon to fly you out of there. But as you look into your bag, you come to the horrifying realization that you don't have the HM Fly, and none of your Pokemon can learn it. So you resort to the second option. You power off your Game Boy for an entire week, hoping that the trainer has reset and that he'll battle you again and move out of the way. And as you turn your Game Boy on and approach him 1 week later, he doesn't battle you. He only gives you the same taunting response to the fact that he's holding you there against your will. He says, "I'm a cool guy, I've got a girlfriend," and this time he does not battle you. You see, although this is a glitch, make no mistake, this man is a pure psychopathic narcissist. He's completely obsessed with his coolness and keeps repeating to himself that he has a girlfriend. And once you came along and you beat him, his ego was so badly wounded that he will now trap you in the forest until the end of time just to prove that he's better than you and that he's cooler than you. You really should have listened to my advice and stayed away from this guy. Thanks for watching this video. If you like these type of videos, please like and subscribe.